Think you know who's going to win an MMA fight based on the first round? Think again. MMA is one of the most unpredictable sports out there, where anything can happen at any moment. A fight isn't over until it's over, and sometimes, just when it seems like all hope is lost, a fighter pulls off the most insane comeback. In today's video, we'll be looking at the top 5 biggest comebacks in MMA history. These moments had everyone at the edge of their seats, proving that in MMA, anything is possible. Let's dive in. 1. Tim Boetsch vs. Yushin Okami. First up, we've got Tim Boetsch vs. Yushin Okami. Okami was so in control that it felt like Boetsch might as well have been sparring with a brick wall. Okami was landing jabs like he was playing a video game, and Boetsch was just the punching bag. 4 2-whole rounds. It was like Okami was writing a tutorial on how to dominate a fight. But Tim, the Barbarian, wasn't about to just hand over the win like it was a gift. He needed a little time to wake up, and that's exactly what he did. In the third round, Boetsch decided it was time to stop being the punching bag and start delivering some hits of his own. With a surge of determination, and possibly some coffee, Tim started pressuring Okami, pinning him against the cage, and throwing uppercuts like they were free samples. The fight flipped faster than a pancake at brunch, and suddenly, Okami was the one on the mat, looking like he just walked into a hurricane. 1 minute.
Boetsch trying to finish, and it is all over!
Boetsch was about to collect his half paycheck, and the next, he was the one holding his hand high in victory. Moral of the story? MMA, where anything can change in a heartbeat. Just don't ever count out a guy named the Barbarian. 2. Miesha Tate vs. Holly Holm. Next on our list, we've got Miesha Tate's incredible comeback against Holly Holm. When Tate stepped into the octagon, most people were like, yeah, Holly's probably going to cruise to another win. Holm was dominating, picking Tate apart with her crisp striking. It looked like Miesha had no answers. In fact, for most of the fight, Tate couldn't even find the remote, let alone a way to land a significant strike. But then, in the final 2 minutes, the MMA version of the final season twist, Tate wasn't done. She shot for a takedown, because why not try something crazy when you're about to lose? And caught Holm off guard. She dragged Holm to the mat and locked in a choke like she was putting the final touches on her homework. With a sneaky submission in the dying seconds, Tate stole the belt from right under everyone's nose. And just like that, the crowd was left with their mouths open. Staring at the most improbable victory of the night. The lesson? Never underestimate a fighter who's in the final minutes of a losing battle. Unless you're fighting them, of course. 3. Scott Smith vs. Kung Lu. Scott Smith vs. Kung Lu is the definition of never count someone out. Kung Lu, a middleweight champion known for his dazzling strikes, was schooling Scott Smith for almost 3 rounds. Lu was spinning, kicking, and making Smith look like he was in a different weight class. Every time Lu threw a spinning kick, Smith looked like he was the guy trying to catch a bus, but missed. He couldn't land anything to save his life. But then, just when it seemed like Smith was about to head home with nothing but bruises and a bad attitude, he landed a punch that could have knocked a rhinoceros out. With Lu suddenly on the mat, Smith unloaded a barrage of punches and secured a TKO win after what felt like an eternity of getting beat up. Kung Lee's face at the end said it all. Did that really just happen? And yes, it did. MMA, where a fighter can go from zero to hero with just one punch.
Ropes! Scott Smith delivering another right hand! He's just gonna finish him! That's it! Miracle in San Jose! Scott Smith has done it! Unbelievable! A big deal!
Kind of like a superhero origin story, but with less capes and more blood. 4. Stipe Miocic vs. Daniel Cormier 2. Let's talk about Stipe Miocic vs. Daniel Cormier 2. In their first fight, Cormier stunned the MMA world by knocking out Miocic and taking the heavyweight title. In the rematch, the first couple of rounds went pretty much like a rerun of the first fight. Cormier was landing hard shots and Miocic looked like he had forgotten how to dodge punches. It was like watching a train that just wouldn't stop running over someone. But wait for it. Here's where Miocic decided he wasn't ready to retire just yet. By round 4, Miocic found his rhythm, started targeting Cormier's body with left hooks, and suddenly the tables turned. Cormier started to tire. I mean, he's human, not a robot. and Miocic saw his opening. A few well-placed strikes later, and boom, Cormier was on the canvas. Miocic regained his title with a comeback that left everyone wondering if Cormier even had time to process the fact that he had just been dethroned.
Right hand up top! Cormier in trouble! Oh, DC in the world in trouble! He is down!
Oh, that's it!
He's down!
Wow.
Miocic is getting the belt back!
Wow.
Cleveland, Ohio, Stipe.
It's a reminder that in MMA, sometimes the fight's not over until you've been hit with a surprise body shot, and your gas tank is empty. 5. Eddie Alvarez vs. Edouard Fogliang. Eddie Alvarez had already made a name for himself in promotions across the world, but when he entered one championship, things didn't go as planned. His debut fight? A TKO loss in just 60 seconds. Ouch. It was like walking into a new job and tripping over your own shoelaces on day one. But Eddie, being Eddie, wasn't ready to just pack up and call it quits. He came back months later, ready to face Edouard Fogliang, a dangerous striker with a solid record. The fight didn't start any better for Eddie. Fogliang was landing bombs and pushing Alvarez to the brink. Eddie looked like he might need a nap after that first round. But then, in a jaw-dropping turn, Eddie swept Fogliang and locked in a rear-naked choke, making a comeback that had the crowd going wild. It was like watching someone who looked like they were about to get thrown into the ocean suddenly swim their way to shore and say, "I've got this." Eddie's ability to stay calm under pressure made this comeback one of the most impressive in MMA history. It's not over until it's over, and Eddie Alvarez proved that with style. These are just a few of the insane comebacks that make MMA one of the most exciting sports in the world. It doesn't matter if you're getting dominated for most of the fight. All it takes is one moment to turn the tide. If you enjoyed watching these incredible comebacks, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more epic MMA moments. Let us know in the comments which comeback blew your mind the most. Thanks for watching, and remember, in MMA, anything can happen at any moment. Keep watching, and you'll see why MMA is the most unpredictable and thrilling sport out there. It's the only sport where the underdog can flip the script and turn the whole fight around with a single move. Pretty wild, right?